Tell me how you did find your way over to Newcastle first up.
I was 9 at the time. I was at school, and my mum worked at Customs, and Newcastle United had come over for it was a festival cup in Adelaide, but they had like Rangers, Newcastle all come over, and they were holding a training camp for like the week for like young players just to like train with them, and Peter Beardsley was in charge at the time, so we just went there for like something to do, trying to see what it's like with the English and obviously compared to the Aussie standard. And Peter thought I was like just a small, he thought I was 14, 15, but I was only 9 at the time. He thought I was just a small kid really. But then after that week he wanted me to come over to the UK, but being 9 at the time, I thought, like, my parents thought it was a bit young, it's like a big commitment. So I came over when I was 13. I came over with the state team with Adelaide, so we toured like England, played all the teams. Then I went off to like meet up with the Newcastle under 13s at the time, and had like a successful trial. It was like a trial type thing. Trained with them for a couple of weeks, played a couple of games with them, then played for the under 14s. So yeah, and then that was they said I was still too young to move over, so I came back when I was 15, and then been here ever since. And
it's been 6 years, all up at Newcastle. Yeah. How's that experience been? Obviously coming up through the ranks there.
Yeah, it's always good. You learn a lot more coming through the academy and everything, and yeah, it's gone so quick. It doesn't feel like it's been 6 years, but looking back at it, it's been well worth it.
And you won an important club award in 2010, the War Jackie Award. Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's given out to it's meant to be the most promising talent. So it's obviously a big achievement for me, a big honour to win it, especially at Newcastle. So yeah, it was a really proud moment for me and my family. And
you've been on the bench for the first team a few times, but yet to crack a game. What's the what's the manager been saying to you about that to get into the team?
Yeah, when I sat on the bench, it was a manager called Joe Kinney at the time, and obviously now it's Alan Pardew. And then when Joe left, I sat on the bench when Chris Hughton was manager. So then it's like hard time. With like changing a manager sometimes, it's harder because it feels like you got to start again because you got to impress them. But with Newcastle doing so well last season, it's quite hard for youngsters to get in the team. When Newcastle finish in Europe, they kind of have no need to bring youngsters in. And
this season's been pretty tough for the club as well.
Yeah, we've been hit with a lot of injuries, especially like 5, 6 key players. So just obviously they're gonna pull through it. They're gonna. Hopefully, they've already brought in a new face in January, so hopefully bring in a couple others and go back to where we belong in the Premier League.
And how did the loan to Crewe Alexandra come about?
Well, my agent had told me about some of the clubs that were interested in me, but he tries to keep it away, doesn't want me to think, oh yeah, maybe I'm going. He kind of keeps it to the side, just lets me get on with my football. And I was meant to be in the Europa squad for Newcastle at the time, on the Thursday, but the deadline for loan was Thursday as well, 5 PM, and it was come to about 2 o'clock, and my agent mentioned Crewe were interested in loan, so they had to ring Newcastle to find out if they wanted me to come on loan, and I was kind of happy because coming on loan, it's I could have fair enough been on the bench in Europa, but at the end of the day, this would probably be more beneficial for me coming out here now. I've played already 6 league games, so.
And you've really taken this opportunity with both hands. I mean, you've scored 3 goals in 6 games, and you're playing regularly. So.
Yeah, when I first came, the first 2 games I sat on the bench because they were winning at the time. So he said, you can't really change a winning team, can you? So I expected that. I didn't expect to go straight into the team. So I understood there, but when I started in the St Johnstone Paint Trophy, started against Doncaster, we won then, and I managed to keep myself in the team against Preston, scored as well. and went on to score the next 3 games.
How's the transition been to League One football, obviously coming from the under-21s, the reserves that you were playing before?
Yeah, you can tell it's a lot tougher, and the tempo, you don't, like, people say, oh, League One, they don't play football, but like, with Crewe especially, we try to play football, which is good, and the tempo's a lot faster than what people think. Like, people think, oh no, it's only, the Premier League's only fast, but it's got a good tempo to it, and it's a lot faster than the 21s.
Crewe's got a very good reputation for an academy for playing good football, as you said. So is that something, a factor in coming here?
Yeah, when my agent told me, I was quite pleased, because like, I've played Crewe before, like when I was younger, and with some of their players, they've obviously made big moves to the Premier League clubs. They've always got a good young team, and it shows by now. Like most of the players in the squad now are like 21 and younger. Really, they've only got a couple older, so it's good.
And you've got a pretty impressive goal scoring record. I mean, what's your favourite position? Where do you like to play? In midfield or up front?
I used to play centre mid. Like, that was my main position. And then when under 18s, we had there was 3 centre mids, and we all ended up quite playing well together. So I was the more advanced one and played like the number 10 role, as they call it. And then from then I started to be more attacking minded. Like a manager called Kenny Wharton, who used to take the under 18s. He helped me a lot. He said I should be scoring more. So like, he helped me work on my finishing and everything, and now I kind of got to thank him for it, because it's helped me a lot in the long run.
And looking at your international career, I mean, you're eligible for both Australia and Scotland, and Scotland through your mum, and you've played for Scotland under 19s, under 21s.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference going forward as you're getting older?
Well, when I was younger, when I was like 16, 17, 18, I was playing for Scotland 19s and 21s, and it was good. Like, it was good exposure, kind of like getting out there and playing international football. Like, you learn a lot, like the different styles of football. Then I kind of took a step back out of like international to focus on Newcastle, and then I managed to get called up to the Australian training camp in Germany, which I went to for a couple of days. We played a game. I managed to score that day as well. Then they had the under-20 World Cup, which I missed due to like family reasons and everything. Now I don't know if that's kind of being held against me. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Hopefully it's not. And just from there, I haven't really heard much about it. So I'm just kind of keeping my options open up, really. So I don't really want to cement anything down just yet. Do
you have that feeling to play for the Socceroos one day if the opportunity comes?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's always good, because that's where I'm from. Like, I was born in Australia, and like, even when we played over in Germany, it was just felt a privilege, like, to put the Australian strip on, like, because it's your home country, so it's a big privilege.
You've been in the UK for a third of your life now, and obviously having that family heritage here as well. Do you feel kind of half Aussie, half British, or is it?
Yeah, but I've always felt like when, growing up in Australia, we've always had like the British, because my dad's from England and my mom's from Scotland, so we've always had like the British traits in us. So it's never been like, and most of my friends at school as well were like either Scottish, like they had Scottish or English parents, so we came from like we didn't have like proper Aussies, if that makes sense, in our school. So yeah, so basically it's hard, because I've got a lot of family over in Scotland as well that want me to play for Scotland, but I suppose when I make the decision, they'll have to deal with it either way.
How tough is that choice? I mean, it must be.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's something what I've got to think about. It's a good tough choice really to have. It's always good to kind of have 2 options, but just really good. I'm trying to focus more on playing for Crewe at the minute. Then hopefully next season, if I get offered a contract at Newcastle, just gonna start off then, and then towards the start of next season, hopefully push on from there.